All right, folks, we have some breaking news regarding the ongoing Epstein scandal, in that we have Donald Trump's first public remarks since yesterday's release of the very creepy letter and drawing he gave to Jeffrey Epstein back in 2003. Trump had previously denied that the letter was real and called the entire story fake news and used it as a predicate to sue the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion. And of course, all of that went up in smoke yesterday when the letter was publicly produced. But here's what's interesting. When an NBC reporter confronted Trump about this, Trump, who is the biggest attention whore in the history of civilization, backed away in fear and was like, I'm not going to talk about this. This is a dead issue. You got to talk to the staff, and declined to comment further. Trump is terrified. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, let's take a look. NBC has the exclusive. Trump calls Epstein birthday letter a dead issue. The president has denied he wrote the letter, which was part of a trove of documents the House Oversight Committee released Monday. So let's take a look. This is by Garrett Haake and Megan Leibowitz. Donald Trump declined to discuss the letter to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein that House Democrats released Monday, calling it a dead issue. Quote, I don't comment on something that's a dead issue, Trump told NBC News in a brief phone call Tuesday morning. Quote, I gave all the comments to the staff. It's a dead issue. He declined to discuss the issue further. Just want to stop there. We'll get to the rest of the article. Stop there. I really want you to fathom how embarrassing and humiliating this must be for Trump and how torturous it must be. Donald Trump, again, has never encountered a camera or a microphone that he has not wanted to have a close personal relationship with. No, he's not particularly bright. No, he doesn't know his ass from his elbow with respect to the substance of domestic or foreign policy. So when people talk about how accessible and transparent he is, in terms of him actually answering questions meaningfully, no, he's terrible. But he's not shy. We can say that about him. As a general principle, he's not shy. So for him to say, yeah, I'm not talking about this. You can talk to the staff. It's a dead issue. I'm declining to discuss it further, is so friggin' rare. It in and of itself is an indictment of Trump. We know why Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about this, because it's damning, because he has been humiliated, because he has been caught red-handed in a bold-faced lie. It's just objectively true. Democrats in the House Oversight Committee posted an X image of a lewd note Trump allegedly sent Epstein for his 50th birthday. The letter was part of a slew of documents released Monday, which stemmed from a subpoena the GOP-led committee sent to Epstein's estate. Trump has denied that he wrote the letter. White House officials on Monday dismissed it, arguing that the signature did not match the president's current signature. And again, we discussed that in a previous video this morning. Earlier instances of the president's signature, though, appear similar to the signature on the letter. Again, we know this to be true. We saw the letter. Here's a reconstruction, an image of the letter itself, how, it's designed in the shape of a young woman with breasts in the form of squiggly lines, and then Donald Trump's signature at the bottom is to indicate pubic hair. Pretty creepy, given whom he sent the letter to, and given that Trump said all sorts of creepy things about Jeffrey Epstein long before Epstein was ever indicted, let alone killed, or rather died in prison. So, looks really bad for Trump, and that's why he's declining to comment. Again, the Epstein issue has rocked Washington for months, carving a divide among Republicans who are typically in lockstep behind the White House's messaging. Trump has repeatedly tried to downplay the story, even as some of his MAGA allies continue to push for transparency. Democratic lawmakers and a handful of their Republican counterparts are working to collect signatures that could ultimately force a vote over whether the Justice Department has to release more of the Epstein files. Thomas Massie, a Republican, is co-leading the effort with Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna. Among the signatories are 3 Republicans who are typically aligned with Trump's messaging: Nancy Mace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert. And I believe as of right now, the signatures are sitting at 215, and they need 218, so they need 3 more. They need 3 more signatures. We'll also take this time to note that among the new reporting and the new release of documents isn't just that creepy letter, right, proving that Trump was lying, full of shit. There was another image there, which is kind of weird, and another letter. New page from Epstein's birthday book, Epstein and a longtime Mar-a-Lago member joking about selling a, quote, fully depreciated woman to Donald Trump for $22,500. That's really ominous and creepy, again, given the sex trafficking that went on between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And so the Wall Street Journal has some more information about this. The Epstein estate also turned over another letter from the book that references Trump. It came from businessman and longtime Mar-a-Lago member Joel Paschal, who made a crude joke about a woman whom Epstein and Trump each courted in the 1990s, according to court testimony and people familiar with the matter. The Paschal letter included a photo of a poster board-sized check for $22,500, which had been mocked up to appear that it was sent from Trump to Epstein. Beneath it, a caption said, quote, Jeffrey showing early talents with money plus women sells fully depreciated, woman's name, to Donald Trump for $22,500. The woman's name is redacted in the image. Not good. So you're selling women to each other? It's a crude joke, right? But people have a wide sense of humor. Except, again, unfortunately, really doesn't fly here, given that Jeffrey Epstein, again, was the most notorious sex trafficker in modern American history. And Donald Trump has had various credible allegations of sexual abuse against him by dozens of women. He was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation by Eugene in the Eugene Carroll case. So really can't hide behind just a kind of a crude sense of humor here. The woman, a wealthy European then in her 20s, severed all ties with Epstein around 1997 and had no romantic relationship with either Epstein or Trump, her lawyer said. The lawyer added she doesn't know Pashkow and has no knowledge of the letter naming her, which he called a, quote, disgusting and deeply disturbing hoax. Pashkow and his attorney didn't respond to requests for comment. The woman became a point of tension in Epstein's and Trump's friendship, according to the people who were close to Epstein. Epstein told those people that he believed the woman enjoyed spending time with him over Trump, and that he was bitter when she ended up choosing to go out with Trump. Trump and Pashkow were listed under the Friends section of the book's table of contents, along with President Clinton and 20 other associates, the Journal reported. Trump and Epstein socialized in the 1990s in Palm Beach, Florida. Trump flew on Epstein's private jet, flight-long show. Epstein was photographed multiple times at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. So, yeah, that's pretty bad, too. Okay? So, the bottom line is this. I have no doubt throughout the day, and as a matter of fact, while we're talking here, I will refresh and see if there have been additional comments by Trump elsewhere, but I have no doubt whatsoever that Donald Trump, if he emerges from public in the next few days, will be asked about this letter. And he should be asked about this letter. Hopefully, we will not see a dereliction of duty by journalists. Okay, so the next time he shows up in the Oval Office or he does what they call chopper talk, which is, when he speaks to reporters right before he boards Marine One. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Trump goes in hiding for the next several days. I don't know if there's a White House press briefing scheduled for this week. Usually there's one or two a week, although at times, you may recall when the Epstein thing hit its fever pitch about a month ago, Carolyn Leavitt also hid from the press as well. So it's entirely possible that they'll do a full court retreat again, because otherwise this next press briefing is going to be absolutely brutal for Leavitt. And so the fact that Donald Trump is refusing to talk about this when he is willing to run his mouth about anything and filibuster about anything, any topic, even though he can't speak to it substantively, really says something. He's afraid. He's terrified. This is terrible for him amidst all the other devastating polling. And Democrats need to do everything in their power, not just for the sake of politics, but also for the sake of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, because Epstein's victims and survivors, they want justice and accountability. They want transparency. To use this to put pressure on Trump and MAGA Republicans, keep the pressure on. Don't just assume the momentum will carry. You have to actively do it. We got to get Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey's discharge petition to 218 signatures that will allow them to bypass the roadblock that is Republican Speaker Mike Johnson and let it pass the House of Representatives. Now, from there, I do believe that it still has to go through the Senate. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think a mere discharge petition in the House is enough to legally compel the Justice Department, but it will be a massive step forward. And the only way that's going to happen, the only way you're going to get 2 or 3 more Republicans to vote for this, if the pressure is maximum and unrelenting. So let's make that happen. Let's do our part in making that happen. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.